Thank you, Anne, for joining me today.
Thanks for having me here.
Now, we're here in Banff for the 2023 Prairie Grain Development Committee meeting. This is the first in-person meeting since 2020. How many years have you been coming to PGDC?
This is just my 4th year here coming to PGDC and second one in person.
You're the cereal specialist for province of Manitoba.
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm assuming you first got involved in PGDC as a result of your work.
Yes, as a result of my work. Since I, work on the seed guide and with the MCVET trials in Manitoba, the PGDC meetings are a good thing to attend just to keep in contact with the breeders and pathologists, and then also just be up to date on new varieties that are coming into the system and that sort of thing.
So how did you first get involved in being cereal specialist for the province of Manitoba? Did you grow up on a farm or how did that work?
Yeah, I grew up on a farm outside of Winnipeg and was always interested in agriculture. I did a degree in plant science from the University of Manitoba, and then I was mostly interested in cereal crops through my master's work, where I looked at organic breeding of wheat. And through that work, worked with some wheat and oat breeders with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada in association with the University of Manitoba. So that was my first kind of exposure to the world of variety development, and I found it very interesting, especially some of the work like, crossing and making new varieties and some of the early variety developmental work.
Now, like you mentioned, you handle you're not the only person, but one of the people who handle the MCVET variety trials in Manitoba. Obviously, what happens here at PGDC feeds directly into that because this is where all the lines come to be recommended for registration, and then those varieties, a lot of them end up in the MCVET trials. So can you talk a little bit about why this event is so valuable for somebody in your position?
Sure. So when we're putting together the seed guide in Manitoba and other provinces, what we're really looking at is developing a set of data for farmers to easily look at and decide what varieties they want to grow based on agronomic characteristics, disease characteristics, and in some cases, quality characteristics as well. So this is an important meeting for us just to, one, be up to date on changes to, maybe how disease resistance ratings are put together, if there's anything new in terms of the disease world that we need to be aware of to alert farmers to, and then also, gather some of that information for putting together the seed guide. So I think that, the information that we collect from the support for registration and the PGDC minutes, so voting on the disease or agronomic characteristics is really important for putting together the seed guide because we want to make sure we're accurately representing these varieties for farmers.
In terms of the MCVET trials, you were on our webinar recently talking about them and how they work and a little bit about what's in store for the future kind of a thing. And what is in store for the MCVET trials coming down the pipe? What's kind of new and exciting in that regard?
For the MCVET trials, we're kind of, running things much the same as we have for the last number of years. One thing that we've been doing a bit more of is trying to work collaboratively with other organizations in terms of, if we can use the MCVET trials for other research projects or, if we can help each other out with different organizations. So one example is from barley. The Canadian Malting Barley Technical Centre has put additional varieties in the MCVET trials in recent years to gather more information on the malting characteristics as well as agronomic characteristics of those varieties. And I think work like that is really exciting because it provides a benefit to farmers because it may, speed up the development of or the market acceptance of some of those malting varieties. And it also is a good way for us to work together and gather more agronomic information on those varieties.
Yeah, I would think so. And it's something that I'm sure evolves over time.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a really cool position to be able to do so many different things. And I guess before I let you go, what's your favorite part of your job?
I think one of my favorite parts of the job is being out in the field and seeing how different varieties perform and checking out the field trials in the summer. I think it's for people that often spend their time in the office, it's nice to get outside and, drive around the province and we have variety trials for each crop about 15 different locations. So it's nice to see, see, just how crops are doing in all those parts of the province, and also see how those varieties are performing and if there's anything that we need to make note of for farmers. So I think that's a nice part of the job.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Well, thank you.